questions directed to the RCPA email, but then I will be usually the one answering everything. So just so you know what's going on, each team has to compose of 4 to 5 Rotman Commerce students. So if you have another U of T student, talk to us and we'll make the necessary arrangements. If you need to have 4 to 5 Rotman Commerce students, this is obviously exclusive of our external team. So we do have a team coming in from Schulich, just one team from Schulich, who will also be competing. Definitely the odds are on Rothman's side, so our program proud. So each team will be given a case as well as a case package today. So the case has all the details. It will have a bit of the history to supplement the presentation of Sarah Jane and Sarah Marnie. And the case is about developing a strategy to increase student, staff, and faculty engagement at campus, around campus. Engagement in the Positive Space Campaign. So you learned a lot about the Positive Space Campaign today, and your challenge now is to further engage more students, more staff, and more faculty into creating an inclusive environment for everyone. So the Diversity Day is on January 27 on Friday. If you're not available on that day, you most likely will not win the case competition. So make sure you're available on that day. The attire is business formal. So it's going to be held at the KPMG building. So this, we need all teams to be at the KPMG building by 10 o'clock in the morning. And we'll have a lot of events and your time to present and also time to meet a lot of firm partners throughout the day. The day will end at 6:30 and we'll end with a short networking session, which I'll talk more about later on. Also if you have any questions right at the moment, you can just raise your hand and I don't mind answering that right away. But if we want to continue. So before the day of the event, we have a firm visit with Accenture. So our firm partner Accenture has been very gracious in offering students a firm visit. So each team will have the opportunity to send 2 representatives per team on January 25. More details will be given in the case package, so don't worry about it. But so Accenture will then take you around their office and tell you about their Positive Space Campaign and what they do for diversity best practices in their company. And hopefully this will help you when you make your strategy for the Positive Space Campaign for diversity. Yes, so if you have any questions about that, you can either email or ask at the end of the topic. So also at the event, you'll be given a mentor. So on January 27, each team will be matched with a mentor who you'll have lunch with. The mentor is definitely not going to help you create your recommendation, and you definitely have to have your recommendation ready by Friday, by January 27. What the mentor is for is to help you refine your presentation skills, maybe give you a few kind of tidbits or experiences that you can use in your presentation. You will be allowed to make changes to your presentation when you're working with a mentor, so definitely leverage that opportunity. Mentors will be from different firms. So we have firms from KPMG, Accenture, HSBC, TD, Deloitte, as well as TELUS. So you'll know who your mentor is on the day of the event, and it will happen randomly, so you won't know, but definitely all mentors will give you a different perspective and hopefully a really good insight into what their firm does in terms of creating an inclusive environment for all workers. So how do the presentations work? So there are 2 rounds to the presentations. The first round is, everyone will be able to present to the first round, and your judges will be from Positive Space. So I think Michelle, Sarah Jane, and Brian are all first round judges, as well as 2 other Positive Space members, and they'll be they'll be coupled with a KPMG representative from their LGBTQ diversity group. And you'll have 10 minutes to present. So your presentation has to be within a time limit of 10 minutes. After that, there'll be 5 minutes of questions like Q&A. So the judge may ask you for a bit of clarification to your campaign strategy. And also they'll give you some feedback that you can use going forward in case you make it to the second round. So the second round would be also 10 minutes. You won't be allowed to make any changes to your presentation deck, but you can change verbally how you present. Hopefully you'll be able to use the feedback given. And 3 teams will move on to the second round. How this will happen will be through the grading criteria, which will be provided with the case package. So they'll strictly follow the grading criteria, and 3 teams will be chosen out of all 25. Those 3 teams will be notified right before they're asked to present on the day of. So you won't know until you're asked to come up on stage. So each team will present to everyone. So I hope you're not frightened and don't get stage fright, because there will be about 150 people. So it will be really interesting, and the winner or the winning team will be decided through deliberation by by Sarah Jane, as well as Brian, as well as Michael Bach, who is the Director of Diversity, Equity and Inclusion at KPMG, and the chair of their LGBTQ group as well. I forget his name, but he'll also be there. 5 minutes will be given for Q&A, just fully Q&A, so no more feedback will be given, but you will have to answer further questions that they may have on your camera. Any questions about the case or presentations? Also, time will be monitored very strictly, so you'll be given warnings for 5 minutes, 1 minute, and 30 seconds. And you, as soon as time's up, you'll be cut off from your presentation, regardless of if you're finished or not yet. Okay. So what are the prizes? So the first team will win, or will have the opportunity to dine with KPMG. So they've already set a date, which is February 29, which is on the case package. So the winning team will have lunch with KPMG senior management. This includes Michael Bach as well as his colleagues. And they'll also win a playbook for each team member. Now the thing with prizes is that regardless if you're registered as a team of 5 or team of 4, only the individuals who presented in the first and final round will receive the prize. So if you couldn't make it to one round or couldn't make it to day of, but your team does succeed, you still will not be included. So make sure you're there for both rounds, and make sure you help your team and put in a good team effort. Finally, the networking session. So at the end of the event, we'll be holding a 1-hour networking session. All firms will be there. We're estimating about 40 representatives, more or less, from all the firms that I mentioned earlier. So that's about a 1-to-4, 1-to-5 ratio. So there's a lot of different people you can meet, more than recruiters. So also just regular workers at the firms. So you'll definitely get a different perspective. You can't really see it, but we'll also be serving alcohol. Alcohol gets kind of tricky when you're in commerce. So how it's going to work is every delegate will have to sign an alcohol policy. If you're of age and you show valid proof of ID, you will be given 2 drink tickets, and you'll be able to exchange those drink tickets with either wine or beer on the networking event. That's pretty much a simplified version. So if you don't have any further questions, we're going to get into the registration and logistics of this. So no questions around. So what we'll do is go through the teams. So we have 25 teams, so I'm going to somehow call the teams, because I don't have a copy on me. It doesn't work. Or I'm going to get Jackie to call the teams. We have 5 RCPA representatives, so we're going to call the teams up from 1 to 25. Now, it's either you've signed up as a team together, or you've signed up individually and have been put in a team. So make sure you listen to your name being called, because you'll be either meet your teammates or verify that you're in the correct team. While you meet with the